fucking only hate like I sometimes he pisses me off. All right. So we're here live again. This is Austin Comedy Network Interviews episode 5. Today we are here with the artist known as
Swiggy.
Let's go. And Swiggy is a regular presence in the Austin comedy scene. Everyone knows him around here. Been knowing Swiggy about 3 years now since he moved down here from Philadelphia. Delco is where he's specifically from.
Yeah. It's like we're like pretty much like right next to Philadelphia area.
Yeah. So, Swiggy, I have so many questions for you. You know, this has been one in the making. First, I want to get into a little bit of your early life. So I want you to tell me a little bit about how was it growing up in Delco. Let's start with Delco.
Delco, growing up, I would always like when I was like real young. I guess I was like probably like a normal kid or like somewhat good or whatever. But then like around like middle school, like high school, I started to like stunt. I just like getting bad grades and like just fucking around and like smoking weed and like getting drunk and like I don't know. Like,
You were smoking weed in middle school?
Maybe like a little bit like 8th grade and then like 9th grade I started smoking a lot. I don't know. But, like maybe I did like I don't know. Like,
Damn.
Yeah.
Me too. Fucking. Yeah. But how was I mean, yeah, continue. So
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I got into like music and shit back then. I'd like play drums, like I still can, and then like rap a little bit, and like but I did that for like a while, and then like just worked regular jobs, and I didn't really get into comedy till about like 4 or 5 years ago. So honestly, when I was younger, I didn't even like think about doing comedy. Like that never even like crossed my mind. Like I was really okay, pretty well.
And you started off living in Delco. You end up moving to Philly, West Philadelphia, or
yeah, I lived there for about a year. With my ex, we moved there, fucking, because I lived like in a room in like a row home there, fucking for like it was like paid something like $360 a month or something. It was like hella cheap.
That's a deal.
Yeah. But I was like,
so how many black people did you have to live around? How many black people did you have to live around to get that?
I think we were the only white people on the block. They would just call me white boy, like yo white boy, and then like. My girlfriend told me anytime she wasn't with me, everyone would call her like Snow Bunny and shit, and like I was out here and heard him say that when I'm around, and he was like, "Yeah, it's good." It's pretty nice.
Yeah, that is a common name for white girls. We do call them stuff. But
I remember I tried smoking with my one neighbor out there with like a pipe, and like he like didn't know what it was. He was like, "Well, you gotta like roll it up, dude." And I'm like, "Yeah," I'm like, "You can do that too." But I was like trying to like show it. He was like, "What?" I was like blowing his mind.
Yeah, we know blunts, and more blunts. I remember when I moved to Indiana, it was the first time I seen somebody roll out of like joint paper. I'm like, that shit is crazy. I thought that's for like cigarettes or something. Like you're about to roll up a cigarette. Like no, he broke down the weed and put it inside of a joint paper. Like they're so used to like bongs and papers and stuff, but I'm like, it just hits different. Even when I smoke a joint now, I'm just like, I just feel like I'm just burning weed for some reason. That's not true, but at the same time, it does feel like that. The blunt high just gives you something different.
No.
But yeah. So West Philadelphia, that's where Will Smith is from. Do you know that?
Yeah.
West Philadelphia.
I actually wasn't that far from where he went to high school. I guess he went to like the public high school out there. Like, it's like a bad area. People get like murdered and shit. Like,
So did you start comedy? Did you start comedy out there in Philadelphia?
Yeah, kind of. Like, so my buddy Tom, I've known him like since preschool, but like he started doing comedy like before me, like a few years, and like he moved here about 6 years before I got here, and like he started doing comedy out here, and I went to visit him, and he got me to do a.
Turn off your mic.
He got me to do like an open mic out here when I came to visit, and then like I did pretty good. Like I mean, not like especially for like on the first time doing it, like I got like some laughs and shit. Like honestly, if I would have bombed, I probably would have been like fuck this shit. But I did all right, and I was like fuck it, maybe I'll keep doing it. And then when I went back to Philly, I just started hitting the mics out there and shit, and fucking on, and started doing it in Philly for about like year and a half, 2 years. I moved out here.
Tell me about your first mic experience. How did that go?
Like out in Philly or
yeah.
Yeah. went all right. I remember.
Well, where was your first open mic ever?
So I was. Oh, my first open mic ever was out here in Texas when I visited my buddy Tom. But out there, I remember going to the Grape Room up in Manayunk, and I would go there and fucking. I went to that one like every week before I moved. I like that one a lot. And then fucking. Yeah, I remember going there. I remember I did one with like an Asian accent. I was like fucking. I think I was talking about like some fucking like Asian dude that fucking I met at like an AA meeting or something, and then like fucking like like I told him I was doing comedy, and then he was like, oh yeah, I do comedy, but he's like say like people they always like make fun of me, because we're so smart, and like stuff like that, and he said like some other stereotypes, but then I just threw in the like like don't forget about like the small penis stereotype, just that how he left that one out on.
Yeah, there needs to be allies to those guys too.
But yeah, but I don't know, but fucking I did like his Asian accent or whatever, and like I remember they kicked me off stage and they said it was like racist or something. I think the host is like name was like Ryan or some shit. I don't know. Fucking know. But it's pretty wild. But I thought it was funny. And then afterwards, people came up to me and they're like, "Oh, that's bullshit, dude. This shit was pretty funny." I was like, "Yeah." I like went back next week and so just kept doing.
How was your first time on stage ever?
Ever? Like for comedy or like before comedy, I'd play music, so I have like a little bit of experience of like being in front of people performing. Like,
well,
so
how was your first experience on stage ever?
Ever? I mean, I was maybe a little nervous.
Well, doing comedy, I mean.
Doing comedy, it was actually really chill, because fucking, I was just talking about what happened the night before, as it was kind of funny, as I was chilling with my buddy Tom, and then fucking, I don't know, yeah, it was just seemed, like, I don't know, it just seemed kind of, I don't know, it was just like, talking on it. I didn't even have that many, like, punchlines, like, I don't know, but it was still, I don't know. I think it was, like, okay for...
It still went well, you think?
Yeah.
Did you get some pops?
Yeah.
Did you get drunk your first time?
Yeah, I think I was drinking. Yeah,
I've noticed, like, I ask people all the time, and a lot of people very commonly get, like, wasted their first time doing comedy.
Yeah, I remember, I was definitely drinking, but I drink a lot, so, like, fucking honest. Not uncommon.
So,
I think I said something like, it was, like, Halloween, so, like, my buddy was getting, like, his face painted or something by his girlfriend, and I was just like, hey, Tom, like... What he's supposed to be for Halloween, a faggot? Like,
I love Tom. Tom has a very Tom has a very edgy, dark sense of humor too. So he gets all those. He gets all those. But
that's pretty fun.
What do you think was probably like the worst experience that you ever had on stage ever?
The worst experience? I remember in Philly, like, it was right when Kobe Bryant died. I did, like, a joke about Kobe Bryant, and, like, no one thought it was funny, and people were, like, pissed off.
Only you.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be really go over well, and it was, like, didn't go over well at all.
Yeah. It happens. It happens. You feel like...
I think then I followed it up with, like, something about, like, killing Martin Lawrence or something. Like, I was thinking, like, would it be, like, I was thinking, like, if Martin Lawrence died, he'd be on, like, the same level as, like, if Kobe Bryant died. Like, but then my friends are telling me that's not. Kobe Bryant's way more famous than Martin Lawrence. So I was like,
yeah.
It was pretty well.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, everyone has those good and bad experiences on stage. It's just part of, growing as a comic. How do you get through the moments, like the tough times where things aren't necessarily going your way on stage, or you're getting negative feedback from the crowd?
I'll just try to, like, work on new stuff or something. Like, I don't know, like, sometimes I feel like, I don't know, I do, like, the same stuff, like, too long, so like, switch it up and, like, write new jokes and, like, I don't know if that was...
But specifically, like, while you're on stage,
okay,
do you get uncomfortable when, like, when you, for instance, you hit a punchline and, like, you don't get pops, or you get a response that you didn't expect, like, people cringe or mad or upset or something like that? How do you barrel through and continue your set?
I usually just keep going, and then I'll just try to hit them with the next one and see if that works. But, like, I remember I did that when I did, I think it was at, like, Roscoe's or something, but I remember I did, like, this John fucking, the Christopher Columbus fucking manatees, and, like, I've killed at that joke before, but when I did it, people were like, I guess, grossed out about like bestiality or something. I don't know. I'd be grossed out about that, but out of there, like, ugh, like out of his ass, like I could definitely like hear it in the audience or them. So talking about like manatees getting fucked and stuff.
Yeah, every time I perform comedy, I learn something different. Just recently, I had a very similar moment like that. Like, I wrote this Chris Benoit joke that's been killing recently. Like, it starts off something akin to, like, I believe Chris Benoit was a hero. And usually, like, that part kills. Just the beginning, the front of the joke. But I did it in front of a Venezuelan crowd recently. Like, they had just got done with the Venezuelan show, and I guess they hadn't seen WWE. So there was quite a few people in the room, and it was like no pops. No pops at the end of that. And I didn't even, like, it threw me off so bad because even though the joke was fresh, like, it had killed every other time that I performed it. Like, and it, you know, it's part of growing as a comic is learning how to deal with moments like that, learning how to transition or double down sometimes or push through what you're said, switch it up, pivot. Right. You know, it all depends on the crowd too. And so that's why, you know, if you ever pay attention, like a lot of headlining comics, like one of the things about headlining is you end up going last, and it puts you at a really good advantage because like you get to watch other comedians perform their sets and see what works. Like, honestly, the front is kind of like one of the worst spots to go because you don't really know the crowd well. Yeah. You don't know what jokes are working in front of them, and you're like really the test dummy. You know,
someone's got to go first, though.
Yeah, just an interesting thing about comedy, though. Can you turn my mic up a little bit? Yeah, you just turned it down too low. But how do you feel about the Austin comedy scene, like in the 3 years that you've been here, since it's grown so much? I mean, when you first got out here, I believe only the Creek was open at the time, if that, because you might have got here a little bit earlier than that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I got here maybe a little bit. I think it was like starting to open up, and then they had then we had the Lucky Duck going to that.
Yeah, the Lucky Duck was probably one of the biggest open mics at the time.
And then Sandjack. Yeah, and we're going to that, and then I mean you can still go to that, but I feel like there's a lot more now.
Yeah. Same thing with Lucky Duck. Like Lucky Duck is still open. It's still a great mic. Lots of signups.
Yeah.
But I mean, like
Lucky Duck's been there since like for a while.
Yeah, since the beginning.
Yeah. Since I got here, at least I don't know how long before I've been here. It's been here.
But there's been so many people you've seen come and go in this scene. So many friends made and gone.
Yeah.
You know, so you saw so many people get to try out comedy for their first time, and veterans come from all across the country. You know, what is it like living in such a freshly defined like growing comedy scene? You know, this is most people would compare this place to New York and Los Angeles right now, you know, if not better in a lot of ways. You know, also some cons, but still, you know, how does it feel to live in the mix of that and just to have been part of it? You know, you're part of a renaissance right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty fucking cool. I mean, it's definitely, I like doing comedy, so it's like pretty chill, and I feel like there's definitely a lot like going on like comedy wise out here. And then like I even had like random like comics that I haven't talked to in a while that do it in like Philly, like hit me up and they're like asking me about it and stuff. And, like, it's definitely, I feel like there's just more going on. There's definitely a lot more mics. Like they have like, in like one day they have like the amount that they would have in like Philly basically, but like, or at least it would seem like, I don't know. I mean, they have like some more, I guess, but I don't know.
Okay.
But I feel like there's like 7 going on in one day out here. I don't know. It's just like kind of crazy, you know? It's like that almost like every day, you know?
Yeah, and there's shows going on just about every day.
Yeah.
Oftentimes,
and
several.
we got the Mothership, and there's like a bunch of other comedy clubs.
Mothership right across the street from us right now. You know, we're going to do Kill Tony. Sign up for Kill Tony again tonight. You know, you have the opportunity to do that every Monday at no inconvenience to you at all. You've actually been on Kill Tony several times, right?
I've been on it once.
Okay, and how'd that appearance go? Do you think?
Pretty good.
Okay. Do you know what episode number that was?
Yeah, I do. It's 529. It was like a while ago. It was like almost 2 years ago, or like a year. It's definitely over a year. It's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've been going like almost every week. It's crazy. My mom got on though. It's pretty wild. She just like, and she doesn't go every week. She just came out to like fucking just to visit me, and I got her to sign up. She got on. It was pretty wild. But fucking yeah, I just wasn't expecting her to get picked. I don't know. It's pretty fucking. It was pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie though. I wanted her. I got her to sign up, hoping if she got picked that they'd like throw me on. But fucking like that didn't happen. So
Yeah.
she also bombed pretty bad. Maybe she did good. Maybe I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, your mom ended up getting on Kill Tony not too long ago.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah. How did did she end up talking to you about that experience after?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. She fucking, she took it pretty well. They roasted her like really hard. Like they said some pretty harsh stuff to her. She also like didn't tell any jokes. She like sang a song and like she had like jokes that like she told me like the day before. I thought she was gonna do them, but like I don't know. I think she said she just got like kind of like stage fright or nervous and just like kind of just sang a song instead. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then so she didn't do any. I don't know. So I don't know. They brought that up. They're like, why wouldn't you have anything prepared? Or It's pretty bad. Yeah. She's just like an older lady. Like, she doesn't even do comedy though.
Yeah. It's still a cool experience to have that.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. She got on.
Both you and your mom could be like, yeah, we both went on Kill Tony. Moms went too. Funny, her first time signing up, huh?
Yeah. No, I was actually her second. She came out,
but
it was like months before. She came out when it was like cold out, like when it was at the Vulcan still. Mm-hmm. And then it was cool. Is we were gonna wait in like the standing area there, but like they saw it was like my mom, and they like gave us a table and shit. They're like, she's like an old lady. We'll get you a table. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah. And then my buddy, Tom was there too. He like got on the table too. So can I come? Like, yeah, I guess. You know, he's like standing next to us.
What do you think the chances were that she was gonna get on?
I didn't think she'd get picked because the last time she signed up, she didn't. And then like I haven't been getting picked in like a long time, so I just figured like I wasn't expecting it because she didn't get picked till like near the end too. So like when it got like near the end, I was thinking, all right, you know, like I wasn't thinking. And then all of a sudden they're just like Swiggy's mom. I was like, oh, what? Like, 'cause I guess they did like the pull to a woman thing, and then like they got to her. I guess so.
Yeah. So, how old are you now at this point, Swiggy?
35. I just turned 35 recently.
And you've been doing comedy for?
I want to say about 5 years. Well, I've been saying 4 years for a while now, so it's probably almost 5. Like, or it's maybe, I don't know, it's probably close to 5 years.
So about 5 years at this point.
About maybe 4.75. I don't know if I can like. Yeah, you can say close.
One thing very common with people who do stand-up comedy is that we live some pretty crazy lives. You have any crazy stories you want to tell us about, Swiggy?
Crazy stories? Yeah, I got a few. I mean, I be getting like pretty wild at like my work and whatnot. I don't know if I just be like fucking around, but like I've also been like trying to like date chicks and stuff. I remember I was with this like one chick or whatever, and then ended up like going on a date with her, and then I was actually I think it was that was like on my birthday or whatever, because I remember like I was tripping acid with you, and then I went to meet up with Tom, and then they wanted to go to this John, and then like I hit up this chick, and we did like a double date thing, and I didn't tell her I was on acid, and then we went there, but then like she like knows I do comedy or whatever, so she wanted to see me perform, so I figured there was like some mics going on, so fucking we went down to I think like the Nar Bar, and then like I went up and I did like a set, but I did like a really wild set, and I whipped out like a pair of panties, and I was like licking them and like sniffing them on stage, and then like and it was like a pretty crazy, and then like so afterwards she was like, what the fuck, like so she was like wasn't expecting all that, and then she brought up, she was like, you're telling me you had like a pair of panties in your pocket while we were hanging out earlier, and I was just like, yeah, you know, I thought I might have been doing comedy later, so they're in there, and like it was really awkward, and then I tried to invite her back to my place to like watch a horror movie, and she was like, that kind of sounds like a horror movie. She's like, I don't know, and like she was like, it didn't go well. I don't think we were vibing. She was like a random customer I met at my work. Like she came through. And, like, I got like her phone. That's how I've been getting like most of my pussy since I moved here is like through fucking work. Like I banged like 2 coworkers that work there, and then I've banged like a few customers. I banged this one chick that was in town for like 3 days, but fucking like I don't know, for like a work seminar. It's pretty wild. That's how I've been mostly meeting, because I guess like when they come through to Terry Black's, like they want to get the meat or whatever, and I'm like cutting it, so it's like they kind of like have to talk to me, you know what I mean? So it's like I feel like if I'm like, you know, like at a bar or like at an event, it's like kind of weird to like spark up there. But I feel like they're already kind of like, you know, like talking to me. So I just start like saying shit. I'll like spank the brisket a lot. And I'll be like, this is like the naughty side. And I'll be like, do you want me to spank it harder? And fucking just like, bah. I get pretty wild though. Or if they want a sausage, like I'll ask them if they want like this one or you want like the bigger, a girthier one here. They'll say, I'll take the girthier.
You ever offer sausage to go to some of the customers?
I'll usually like, tickle the ribs. I'll be like, you want that rib tickled or untickled? They'll be like, what? And I'll be like, oh, that's pretty well.
So, Swiggy actually works at a pretty well-renowned barbecue spot around here called Terry Black's.
Pretty well.
And you were telling me the other day about this story that I thought was hilarious with Richard Sherman. Do you mind walking me through it one more time?
With who?
With Richard Sherman, when Richard Sherman came through to Terry Black's.
You talking about Marshawn Lynch?
Oh, yeah, Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's Richard Sherman?
Yeah. And this is the point of the story.
All right, so this dude, Marshawn Lynch, came through to my work. And so when he came through, I like sports a little bit. I only really know about like Philadelphia sports players, like maybe like McNabb or like fucking like I don't know, like fucking like the I can't even think of the dude who's playing right now. But either way, fucking like I don't really follow sports that hard, but I watch like you know like Eagles games and shit, and like I don't know, and, like I just get like high a lot, so I just be like chilling. But fucking like, cause I'm like from Philly, so like you know like the Eagles were. But fucking so this dude came in, and like this dude is fucking like bling the fuck out, dude. Like he had like all these gold chains, and he had like fucking like multiple watches with like diamonds, and he had like a grill with like diamonds, and he had like fucking like all this crazy shit, and like fucking and then he had like a bunch of dudes with him too, and like they were all bling the fuck out, and they're all like chilling, and then he had like a blunt in his ear, and he had a cup of lean, and he was like just chilling, and then fucking I was like serving him, and so like I was talking to the dude Marshawn Lynch or whatever, but I didn't like know who he was. And I was like, the first thing I asked him, I was just like, yo, dude, like, what label do you rap for, dude? And then he was just like, what? And then, like, the dude next to me was like, yo, dude, that's, like, Marshawn Lynch, like, Super Bowl MVP. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, dude? Like, I don't even... Apparently, it was, like, a big deal. I was like, oh, it is. Like, yeah, it was pretty wild. He was, like, laughing, though. He thought that shit was funny. But that had to be, like, one of the most racist shit. I just, like, assumed he was a rapper. But then, they were, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, like... He looked like a rapper, dude. Oh, no, dude. I said that like to his face. It was pretty well. Dude, one time I was like fucked up. I wasn't like fucked up. I was like kind of high. But I remember a Slash came through and I got from like Guns N' Roses and fucking I got to talk to him briefly and like fucking I was like, yeah, man. Like I remember that like music video where you're like smoking a cigarette, like doing a guitar solo. It was like, and I was like, I don't know, I was making. I probably didn't even sound anything like the song. He was just like, what the fuck? He probably thought I was crazy. Man. But yeah, it's crazy. You get to meet a lot of like interesting people. Same with like Rob Schneider. He came through and like apparently he like called ahead and like he said that he wanted to be treated like a regular customer and like he doesn't like being like noticed like in public or something. But like when he came through, I was immediately like, oh yeah, I do comedy and like I was like, yeah, he was like, yeah, I was like talking, but he was actually pretty cool about it. Then he came up before he left and like said bye to me and I was like, he was pretty chill. But they definitely told me like not to do that. It was like the first thing I did.
Hey, did you ever work on that Vietnamese on that Asian thing you were telling me?
A little bit.
Do you think you would be able to tell it for me? Because just to be clear, so I could clarify this, the other day, this was probably like 7-8 weeks ago. We were all on mushrooms at the park and we were barbecuing, and Swiggy had me absolutely in tears. with this one joke right here, had me crying all day. You think you could? You think you'd be able to walk the audience through it the same way you did me?
Maybe you could close to it. I don't know, it'd be 100%. But yeah, yeah, it's like like so like racism in general. You would think is pretty bad. Like I don't know, it's like not good. But it's like I don't know, like I was just thinking like in some cases I feel like you kind of there's like a few like you can kind of understand why someone would be racist, like especially like Vietnam veterans, dude. Like so like the dude like some of them were forced to fight. You know, a lot of them like didn't even like fucking like there's a draft. So they're like, so they're fucking. You're just like you don't even want to go, and you're fucking forced. And then all of a sudden you're put in a situation where all these people are trying to kill you, and all the people trying to kill you like look the same. They're like speaking a fucking foreign language, and they're fucking like, and then like not only are they just trying to kill you, but like their women and children are trying to get at you. They would have like children strapped with bombs like coming up to them. They did like guerrilla warfare, like crazy like suicide bomb shit. And then I heard that it would be women that would put like fucking razor blades in their vaginas, and they would like seduce the soldiers and like fuck their dicks up, and like I don't know, there's like crazy shit that happened in Vietnam. Like it's pretty fucking wild. So like if you were to be going through all that shit, like fucking like you'd probably like hate like Asian people. I would imagine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't even like be mad at the guy. I'd be like, I mean,
you get a pass.
Yeah,
I kind of understand.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I mean, it makes sense. I don't know. Like,
Is it not a crazy concept? Is it not a crazy concept that we send people to war and usually they have no idea why the fuck we're there? Like we usually lie and send people to war. Like we usually lie and convince as many poor people as possible. Like you will never go to a private school and see like a U.S. Army recruiter or a Marine Corps recruiter sitting outside at lunch. Like regardless of where you go in America, you go to the poorest public schools, you'll see a Navy recruiter outside the cafeteria like, hey, do you want to leave your trailer?
no,
we have a future for you. Yeah, but like most people who go to war, just very similar to Vietnam, like they have no idea why the fuck they're there. They're just getting there. They get there and they're thrown into a crazy circumstance in which they really have no idea what's going on. No, I would never go to war. Would you?
I mean, I'm not a pussy, but I wouldn't want to go to war on it.
No, I'm a pussy. I would not go to war. I'm sorry. Warfare is different now than it was back in the day.
It would really depend. I don't know. If it was like they're fighting like here and like you had to like defend like your own shit.
Of course. Like there's no other choice at that point. Like defense is different. But I'm not going on a boat to another land to go fuck up another people.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Who haven't done anything to me. Like, you can't do anything to me. Like, America has never been... We've been invaded, like, one time. And that was by the British. They had a foothold here. Things were a lot different back then. We've never, like, really been invaded, ever. And it's not ever really a concern. Like, it's crazy how we can send, like, our soldiers all through the world. And, like...
Well, that's crazy. I think they still have, like, the draft. They just never really had to use it in, like, recent times. But, like, if they really needed to, like, they probably would. You know?
Yeah, like, if we were in a serious war. But really, like, for the most part, we mostly like to just pick on countries who have, like, who, like, can't defend themselves. we mostly like to fuck up, like countries that don't really have a great shot at being able to defend themselves. But it's easier like that because it's better to win the war. You know what I mean?
Yeah, war would probably suck. My grandfather, he fought in war and like fucking, he was like, he survived and shit, but he got like his leg blown off and I think he was shot like 3 times or something like that.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. He lived to be like an old guy though. I think he died like, I forget if it was like late 70s or 80s or something like that. I forget, to be honest. But it was when I was in like high school or some shit he died by. Still, like, he lived like from like, you know, he fought in World War II, so he lived like a pretty long life.
So what are some of your biggest interests in life? Besides comedy.
What'd you say? Interest?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Outside of comedy, fucking, I don't know, man. I just be like working a lot and like chilling, and then fucking, I do be doing the comedy a lot, but fucking, I mean, I don't like horror movies and like video games and shit, and fucking like, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any specific horror movies or
I like
video games
music too. I need to I like the Child's Play genres. They're pretty lit. But like music.
That's one of the funniest horror movies there. I damn near don't even think you could consider that a horror movie. Like Chucky is hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Like he has real good timing. Any particular games?
I mean, right now I just have a bunch of the old shit. I have like a 64, Sega Genesis, and like the original Nintendo. But I'm playing a lot of that shit on it. I play like Mortal Kombat 3 a lot on like Sega, or like I got like this McDonald's game that's actually pretty lit.
The McDonald's game.
Yeah, it's pretty lit. It's actually pretty good.
Can you please explain to me what's in this McDonald's? What's the context of this McDonald's game?
You play as Ronald McDonald, but it's like 2D and has like Sonic graphics kind of, but like you fucking like walk around and then like you like you like kill like these like Furby looking creatures, and then you have to like
You kill them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you shoot like some shit out of your hands and like kills them, kind of like something like Mario would do, but looks a little different. But and then you like it's like a platformer, like you jump around, but it's got like pretty wild graphics for Sega. Like, it's pretty. I don't know. It's pretty crazy, especially if like you're tripping. There's like a level where like fucking like the levels are like shifting shit, and like everything will be like all like swerving. Like it's actually pretty wild. Huh? It's like surprisingly good. Like you think it'd be shitty because it's like McDonald's, but it's like pretty honest. It's pretty wild. I was like,
Is the cover for the game like the McDonald's symbol?
It's on there, but it's called, I think it's called McDonald's Land or McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure, and it's like it looks kind of cheesy. There's like a treasure map on it. It's like you have to find like some treasure in the game. I don't know. It's like, but it's actually, I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty well. It sounds kind of lame when you say that, but
Yo,
it's
have you ever
probably meant for kids, but it's still pretty wild to play on.
ever played the Burger King games for Xbox?
Nah.
The Burger King games for Xbox, Patrick.
Yeah, like Burger King made like 3 or 4 games. They were like mini games, but it was like on a Xbox disc, and they sold them for like.
I think I
$5.
remember that, but I never played him. But I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I found them on eBay, but I gotta get an Xbox.
What is
again.
up with these corporations making? I guess that must be a lesson they learned in the early days of video gaming. Like, nah, we don't want to do that again. Imagine now
McDonald's game.
a Taco Bell video game. You could play it right at midnight.
What if it was just like you just like make like the sandwiches and shit? Fucking be all fucking boring. But it's all like insane graphics. Like it looks like real neat. Like that'd be fucking stupid.
So and music. So what music are you into?
I like a lot of hip hop and I like a lot of rock music and stuff too. I guess
It's okay. Leave that down there.
like Tool and like Primus and stuff like that. But I like play drums and whatnot, and I kind of want to get back into doing that. And I'm trying to make this rap song. My one buddy made like a beat for me. I've been like writing lyrics for it for a little while now. So once I get it together and we record it, try to make like a music video. I think it'd be cool.
Okay.
Swiggy. No.
So we actually don't have a whole lot of time today, and there's so many other interviews that I want to do with you later, Swiggy, when we perfect the process a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I think this was great for today.
Wait, I just want to point out, while we still have time, Swiggy, could you show the camera the back of your shirt? Or actually, wait a minute. It is live and it has your phone number on it.
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
That's okay.
Wait, we could hold something in front of it.
Yeah. But
I mean, I don't know, it'd be cool.
If you could just block the phone number with the pillow or something. Not that there's gonna be like a bunch of people.
I mean, you can put the phone number on. I feel like you'd probably be sweating.
you got to squat down a little bit. Squat.
Fuck.
You got to squat down quite a bit more. Like how is
Nice.
I didn't even know that. Yeah, that's cool shirt. That's a great way to end it off.
That's like my real phone number.
And this is why we love Swiggy. This is why he's one of the greatest people around here that I've met in my journey through comedy out here in Austin. But, any closing thoughts for the audience, Swiggy? You could sit back down.
All right.
Any closing thoughts for the audience?
Closing thoughts. Yeah, for like anyone who might be listening. All right, yeah. If any of your like females or like sluts or something like that, like, what's up? You know, fucking Swiggy, come at me. Be like the artist known as Swiggy on Instagram. Fucking like I don't know, fucking holler.
Anything else you want to plug real quick? YouTube, TikTok.
Yeah, I got a YouTube channel. It's just Swiggy420. I was gonna name it Swiggy, but that was like taken. And then I tried Swiggy 69 and that was taken, but then I did Swiggy 420 and that wouldn't work. So I only have like one video on that right now. So, but I'll probably end up posting more shit eventually though.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Swiggy, it's been a pleasure, and we will have more conversations in the future.
All right.
Well, like I said, it's been a pleasure. Like always, we're high, the usual. But yeah, we'll catch up later. We got Kill Tony to do today. We want to try to get through a little bit of Ben's interview if we can. So, all right then, man. We're going to close it out. That'll be peace. We'll catch you guys later. This is Austin Comedy Network.
Hey, shout out to all the Swiggies.
Shout out to all the Swiggers. Swiggy. I had to use the ER.